Please subscribe and like and leave a message. What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into something that's been quietly reshaping families, relationships, and honestly, why so many of us are swiping left on the whole till death do us part vibe. I'm talking no-fault divorce, where it came from, what it's done to us, and yeah, why it's got dudes ghosting the altar and leaving some wondering if marriage even makes sense anymore. Buckle up, this one's got layers. Let's rewind to the 60s. Back then, getting a divorce? It was like auditioning for a courtroom drama. You had to prove your spouse was a total villain, think adultery, abuse, or straight-up abandonment. No proof? Tough luck, you're stuck. Folks were faking scandals or hightailing it to shady motels in Reno, Nevada, just to make it stick. It was messy, expensive, and kept a ton of miserable people chained together. Enter California, 1969. Governor Ronald Reagan, that Reagan signs the Family Law Act, making the Golden State the first to roll out no-fault divorce. No more mudslinging required. You could just say, hey, we're incompatible, and bounce. Why? The idea was noble: cut the drama, protect kids from ugly fights, and let adults exit bad situations without turning it into a circus. By 1971, New York jumps on board. Within a decade, every single state follows suit. Boom, overnight, divorce goes from battlefield to paperwork. Fast forward and the numbers explode. Pre-no fault, the U.S. divorce rate hovered around 10 per 1,000 married women. By the early 80s, it spikes to nearly 23. That's more than double. Marriage rates. They were cruising at about 72% of adults back in the 60s and 70s. Today, under 50%, and they've been tanking since those laws hit. Coincidence? Nah. Studies from places like the National Bureau of Economic Research show states that adopted no-fault saw divorce rates jump 8 to 16% right after. It's like we flipped a switch from work it out to peace out. But here's where it gets real: the ripple effects on society. Kids caught in the crossfire? Heartbreaking. Research from the Institute for Family Studies points to higher poverty rates. About 30% of kids in single-parent homes live below the line, compared to just 5% in two-parent setups. And mental health? A landmark study in the American Law and Economics Review found no fault led to a 30% drop in domestic violence overall, which sounds great, but it also correlated with more family instability. Women's suicide rates dipped 8 to 16% in those early adopting states, huge win for escaping abusers. Yet for men, the story's darker. Male suicides actually ticked up in some datasets post-reform, tied to losing homes, custody, and half their stuff overnight. Speaking of guys, let's talk why so many brothers are like, nah, I'm good on marriage. Look, it's not fear of commitment, it's math. Women initiate about 70 to 80% of divorces, per data from the American Psychological Association. That's not shade, it's fact. When it hits the fan, men often walk away with the short end. Average alimony payouts run $400 a month, but asset splits can wipe out half your net worth. Custody? Moms get primary in 75 to 80% of cases, even when dads fight for it. A guy's got a 1 in 2 shot at the marriage folding, and if it does, he's staring down a 40% chance of getting hit with the bill, literally, since women file most. Pew Research backs this. Marriage rates for men under 30 have cratered from 60% in 1970 to just 25% now. Why risk it when cohabitation's up 40% in the same window? Dudes aren't avoiding love, they're dodging the divorce lottery. One bad roll, and you're couch surfing while funding your ex's new chapter. Forums are full of stories: guys burned once, twice, now preaching go MG Tao, or just dating sans rings. Stats from the U.S. Census show unmarried men over 35 outnumber married ones in big cities, and it's climbing. It's not laziness, it's self-preservation in a system that feels stacked. Now, flip the script. Why do women sometimes have zero skin in the game to stick around? Harsh? Maybe, but let's unpack it without the pitchforks. No fault means you can tap out anytime, no questions. Pair that with family courts favoring moms on custody about 85% of cases, says the Department of Justice, and suddenly, divorce isn't just an exit, it's a potential upgrade. Alimony and child support flow in, covering about 60% of women's post-divorce income gaps, per census data. For high earners, it's even sweeter. Women in the top income brackets see their household wealth hold steady or rise after splitting, while men's dips 21% on average. Don't get me wrong, this setup saved lives. That same American Law and Economics study? It showed a 12% drop in female homicides by partners after no-fault hit. Women trapped in hellish marriages could finally bolt without proving bruises in court. But the flip side? It dials down the incentive to grind through rough patches. If things sour at year 5, why not file? You've got the legal green light, and the system's geared to cushion your landing. A report from the Heritage Foundation notes divorce rates for couples over 10 years and climbed 15% post-reform, suggesting folks bail earlier. Add cultural shifts, feminism pushing independence, apps making rebounds easy, and staying feels optional, not obligatory. For some, marriage turns into a trial period with a built-in eject button. So where does that leave us? No fault was a band-aid on a broken system, born from real pain but birthing new ones. It freed the trapped but spooked the hopeful. Marriage rates are at historic lows, 6.5 per 1,000 people now, down from 8.2 in 1990. Fewer weddings, more solo living, and yeah, a loneliness epidemic hitting men hardest, with CDC data showing unmarried guys dying 7 years earlier than married ones. But here's my take. Blaming the law misses the forest. It's economics, culture, us. Fix it? Maybe mutual consent for no-kids couples, or better co-parenting laws. Or hell, rethink incentives altogether, tax breaks for long hauls, counseling mandates. Point is, we gotta talk about it. Marriage shouldn't be a gamble, it should be a pact. What do you think? Dudes, would no-fault changes get you ring shopping? Ladies, does it feel fair? Drop comments, smash, like if this hit home, subscribe for more unfiltered takes. Catch you next time, stay real out there.